doing a VSR video breakdown of Beau Nelson. What we did this off season is we decided to, instead of doing stuff from week to week, I took a series of I ended up taking about 10 different videos, but I picked out 5 that really showed the progression that these guys were making the off season. We back off the throwing program and really have a focus on letting the body and the arm recover, high focus on arm care, up in the volume of that, just to build those arms up and get us some much needed rest. Also to address anything that I felt was a big discrepancy in their delivery, we worked on. So another thing that we did is we tested velocity. We did a mound test and a pull down test in the same day, about a series about 15 total throws. So we're going to look at those results today too. That ended up being about 12 weeks apart. And so, yeah, let's see. I don't have the dates exactly for everyone, but for Beau, I do. I had him testing on November 7th, right towards the start of the off season. And like I said, we did mound and pull downs. On his mound stuff, I had him that day at an average of 55, and then I had him at a high of 56 off the mound. So I was pretty happy there. And then when we did his pull downs, I had him at an average of 56 and topping out at 57. So once we came back and we tested, again, like I said, I'm not exactly sure how long it was. I had him on January 31st. So a little less than 3 months apart. And this kid just came back and lit it up. So mound velo, when he came back, I had him at an average of 57.8, which was 2.8 miles per hour better on his average. So that's great there. I had him at a high of 59, so had him up on the high end. I had him up 3 miles per hour there. He had himself up 3 miles per hour there. And then in his pull downs just blew me away. Average, I had him at 62.2, had him up 6.2 there. I think there was one other number that someone might have beat that, but other than that, that was pretty close to the top. And then at his high, I had him at 63, which was up 6 miles per hour. So that is coupled with bettering mechanics and stuff like that, and also what we were doing through our throwing program. So let's go in here and look at some of the things like I feel that he can do better. I know this angle's not great. I'm doing these breakdowns in my hotel room in Washington, so just bear with me on this. Also, I did buy a new Chromebook laptop to kind of help. I think it's got a higher functioning Google Drive, so I think that I'll be able to upload bigger files and not have that be my biggest problem anymore. Okay, with Beau, one thing that you're going to see here that I really want to look at, he is very athletic. You've probably heard me say that in his past breakdowns. One thing that you're going to see happen right here is he's really early with his arm right here. Okay, that arm is pulling in. Okay, I'd want to see his arm back like there with his foot in the ground, also with this foot there pushed out. So as you can see, he's too much here up top and he's too much there down low. So we had to really work on getting him to get this push there and still drive that elbow back there, which is easier said than done. But I don't know how many times this kid even missed during the off season, and it showed in his stuff moving forward. So this right here is just kind of like a walkthrough deal. This is a complete exaggeration of a pitching delivery, something I would never have a guy do to try to learn how to actually throw a ball. But as you could tell, like I said, he was never like, I don't know. This is kind of hard to explain. This is something that I just had guys do to basically literally walk through what I was trying to tell them. Even if they didn't move the exact way, like in the drill, like if it, like on video, them understanding and talking our way through what was going on instead of just going through every motion from start to finish. We were just breaking it down step by step. So that's just kind of what that is. This right here, you're gonna see that he does a better job with this. Another thing that I could mention is his glove. His glove is the biggest thing for him, for sure. That glove has to be up, okay? If he's not there, when we started working with him, he would come out to about down into here, and that thing would pull him across so hard that he never had time to let anything develop. So we kind of built this in for him to create, I guess, distraction of his arm backwards, but also to kind of just use it for this downward pulling lever, so to say, and get himself over the top. One thing that you can tell already, foot's not in the ground. He's already pulling this. I mean, his foot really gets down about right there. Look at that axis of his shoulders. Okay, that thing needs to be a straight line going back, you know, towards the wall, basically. So as you can see, I kind of took the video from the front to show him, like, hey, dude, you know, we got to have that arm loaded behind you still, like there, with your foot in the ground. So that's kind of what this video was. All right, let's see. Okay, this was us later on in the off season, kind of starting to ramp things up, throwing just kind of some plyo wall flat grounds. Now look at that. Okay, you can just tell already that he's going to be in a better position to stay back there. Okay, that goes up, and he's basically creating, you know, if we were standing behind him right now, he's basically creating a diagonal line to keep arm back here, glove up there, and distract that arm. You can tell though, now this is way better. That foot kind of settles in right there, and it's still just wanting to pull just a little bit. Okay. Another thing that I've kind of had a problem with him, I figured that if I got his arm to stay back, that his arm would end up in a better position, but I would really rather see, if I can zoom in on this. Okay, I'll try to draw an angle. Okay, I want to see basically off of his arm, I want to see, like, let's see if I can actually get it right to 90 coming off of here. I want to see that arm in there. Okay, right now we're getting, let's see, I mean, right there we're, I don't know, 126. Okay, so we're not off far. I knew that if I could just get his arm to stay back, if he was driving that elbow behind him here, that it would inherently kind of create more of that. All right, so looking at it now, you can tell. So the glove stays in, boom, chest of glove, arm ends up getting in a good position there, but it's just, you know, there's still just that slight little, there's just not enough distraction of that arm backwards, okay? Sorry if that's been crappy quality on the screen, I just barely looked up and saw it. All right, anyway, we'll continue forward, I'll check that after. Okay, now, this was the day that we tested him on the mound. Now there was a lot of work in between that last video and this one, but I'm just gonna kind of jump into this right now. Now you can see one thing that he's doing right here that I'm not huge on is he's already pulling that glove. Okay, we gotta get that We got to get more of that of his arm to get more of the glove to go there. Now he ends up getting there at the end, but that you can see down there, it's kind of out of the equation a little bit. Not really, because if we just drew a line off of his, you know, if we're going off of his elbow there, it's okay. But I'd want to see that hand, instead of being there, being more in there. But check this out. Look at this arm when his foot gets into the ground. Boom. Okay, still not the angle that I want. Okay. Still not the angle I want there. Let's see if I can get this to come up. All right. Better than before. All right. A lot better than before. But I still need to get a little bit more of that. Now you can see right there, that's kind of when that arm starts to, that shoulder goes into, well, the arm goes into external rotation, shoulder goes into internal there, but it's just the shoulder speeds kind of peak right there, and the arm folds back. But it would just be healthier to have less laxity for him there. I'd want to see that arm getting in more. All right. But either way, that's still a huge adjustment. Great job on his part. Now check this out. I took another video, I think the lesson after his test, to show him how different it looked. Look at that. Okay, that is what I was talking about. That there. That's why we built this glove in here, okay, the way that we did, to get his arm there. Because before, when these two things aren't working together, he loses all of it. If he pulls here too early, arm comes early, and we don't have anything behind it. Okay? Foot gets down. Boom. Look at that. That is what we have been working on, seriously, so much of the time. Everything that we've worked on, you know, whether it was a lower body, you know, pushing quicker off of his foot, back in there, it was all basically to get, I mean, even if it was for the lower body, we were trying to get that hip to move faster to ultimately leave, that line. We don't want it to start leaking in here, because we're just, you know, it's like pulling a rubber band back and letting it in slow. You want to leave this back and just let it explode around, instead of just kind of leaking in. Okay, great job on his part. Even a little better, see, I mean, a little better bend in his arm. Still just a little bit too much laxity, but I mean, right there, that's pretty good. One of these next frames that I'm going to show you, I think this is one that I kind of screwed up. Yeah, I could not get this to turn the right way, so I'll try not to ruin our whole setup here and show this one. Okay, so I took this video with him, I think the last time that I had him in, just to show him how much better this was. Now I got to kind of pick my battles with what I'm going to have guys work on. I intend to have this continuously be our focus. And if you ask him, what's the number one thing that we work on in our lesson? Almost every single time, it's keeping that glove in. That's just his thing, you know, and I mean, everyone's got one of them. But you can tell it stays pretty good. But watch when this foot gets into the ground. Boom. Okay, this shoulder pulling a little bit early, but this here is what I'm talking about. 104. Okay, we're almost there. I mean, he is essentially, let's see if I can get it. I mean, just to show him, I'm going to draw this line a little in front of his arm just so he can see. I mean, he's got to come in this far. Less than that. I mean, he's got to come in that far to get his arm at 90 degrees. But another thing that I was talking about, that lower body kind of, that push to get the hip through, push, hip through, arm back, money. Great job, dude. You can tell that that glove comes back into his chest, but I need it to be just a little bit more reinforced. Okay, let's check this out. I videoed this. I videoed his quick kick just to show him, just to kind of talk about what we focus on in the quick, which is slide stepping. I'm not the biggest proponent of it at all, just because you're not getting anything back to get forward. You still need to control your hip. That's what the leg lift is for. So really good job here. Really good job there. Money there. Money here through the leg. Okay, I'll zoom this in for you guys a little bit. Okay, so you can see that foot. Now with the quick, I gotta also pick my battles. Like if everything is pretty dang close, okay, great. But with a full leg lift, I'm gonna be really picky, and I'm really picky with towels too. Just because if we're not trying to execute a pitch and just working on mechanics, I pick at this stuff pretty hard. But again, so close here with the shoulders. Okay, that arm right there. So you can see it's pulling in just a little too early. But that one right there, let's just say that his foot was flush in the ground. We're about 2 frames away from that foot being flush. We're there. Now it's about timing. We got to drive back there, maybe even a little bit harder there to get to full extension with his leg, but we got it. Okay. Kid just absolutely works his butt off, man. He's probably he is the hardest worker of his age group, no doubt. Love working with him, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do this season. He's going to be a beast. Already is, but the older he gets, the stronger he gets, man. He's going to keep getting better. So now we will be back to weekly videos. I'm going to start doing grip analysis on these guys, and I will get those uploaded. All right, thanks.